Good job. Pen in the back seat. All right. Make sure that. Give me a second. I'll find a pencil. Please write your first and last name at the top of your packet. Today's date is the 14th. It's Pi Day. Shh. The assignments that are due this week, we have our warm-up. We have our project. And we have a quiz. Our quiz is on adding, subtracting, and multiplying polynomials. Okay. And also degree. Like how do you put it in order by degree? Okay, so you'll see all of those things on the quiz. That'll be Friday. The interactive notebook is due Monday. Please make sure that you start uploading your pictures. Monday is I think it's the 20, what's today? The 14th, 21st. Okay. Today we're going to do the warm-up. We're going to work on GCF. We're going to factor polynomials by using the GCF method. And you're going to practice that. If we have enough time, you can finish up your Delta Math assignment. Okay. Your homework is animal project. You will meet with your partner tomorrow to kind of work on the last part of your project. You should be working on your animal project. Any questions while we're on the topic? Are there any questions about the animal project? Yes, babe.
I was a little confused with number 5.
What was number 5?
That's what the recursive
and explicit. Yeah, we wrote it down. Did you write it at the top? Let me see yours.
I didn't.
Why you didn't write that stuff? Go back and watch the video from last week. I wrote down. I told you which one was recursive and which one was explicit. We wrote it down on that project paper. Okay. Yes.
I can't find a population.
And what's your animal?
The octopus.
The octopus. Those I called that out to somebody on Friday, but I'll give you the dates again. Yes. The who? It's on. I already told you that. It's on Canvas. I told you that already, though. Why didn't you go back and write those dates down? I put in a nice table for you, and I did that for you. Shh, you need to go back and look. Okay. Let me check to see if I put the octopus in. All right. So let's look at this. Warm up. It says graph the equation and find the x and y intercept. All right, good folks. So first thing that you need to make sure that you do to find the x and y intercept, if you're finding the x intercept, y is equal to 0. Please go back and look at your notes for x and y intercepts in your interactive notebook. If it crosses the x-axis, your y is always going to be 0. If it crosses the y-axis, if you're finding your y-intercept, your x is equal to 0. So when you're solving this, when you rewrite the equation, 2x plus 3y is equal to a negative 6. Y is equal to 0. So when I put 0 here, 3 times 0. 3 times 0 is 0. So we're just left with the 2x is equal to a negative 6. And to find x, we divide both sides by 2. So x here is going to be a negative 3. So my x-intercept, remember, they already put, I don't know why they did it like this. This is backwards. Uh, 0 for y, and the x-intercept here is going to be negative 3. Okay, so this is the ordered pair for the x-intercept. Y-intercept, they did it backwards. Your 0 is supposed to be here. Okay, and we're going to substitute 0 in for x again. Not again, but this time. Sorry, y'all. So we're going to put 0 in the place of x. So this is 2 times 0 plus 3y. So this is 0, and we're left with 3y is equal to a negative 6. We're going to divide both sides by 3, and that's y is equal to what number? What is y equal to here?
Negative 2.
Negative 2. Okay, so this is negative 2. All right, so this is your y-intercept. So when I graph these, I have negative 3 and 0. So negative 3 on the x-axis is over to the left, 1, 2, 3, and 0 is right here. And this is 0 and negative 2. 0 is here and go down 1, 2. So we can draw a line through these 2 points. Okay? That's another way to graph. All right. Any questions about how we did the first problem? The second problem. Anybody still copying? The second problem, you deposit $4,000 into an account paying 6% annual interest compounded. That's the key word right here. Quarterly. Write an equation to represent this scenario. Okay, so what kind of function is this? Exponential. Okay, which exponential formula are we going to use? Yes.
Compound interest.
We're going to use compound interest. That's A or Y is equal to what? P.
Parentheses. 1 plus R over N.
R over N.
To the NT power.
To the NT power. Very good. Okay. So let's write the equation because they want us to write the equation. So what are we going to put in the place of P?
4,000.
We're going to put 4,000. Good job. We got 1 plus, what are we going to put in the place of R?
0.06.
0.06. What are we going to put in the place of N?
4.
4. Why 4?
Because quarterly.
Very good. All right, so now we're going to multiply what together here for your exponent? What number?
4.
Times what?
5.
Times 5. Why 4? Why 5?
Because at the bottom it says
Oh yeah,
5
5.
5 years. Okay, very good. Okay. And since they want the equation, we could just put 4x for the equation. And then when we go down here, we substitute the 5 in for x. So this is the equation. Okay. And you can combine these and all that stuff. All right. So now down here, want to figure out how much is in 5 years. So we got y or a is equal to 4,000. 1 plus 0.06 divided by 4. And then we got 4 times 5. So type this in and figure out how much money that's going to be, and that's your answer. I'm going to pause for the calls, give you a chance to do that. Okay? And then take out your notebook. All right, so let's write in our planner. I'm going to put your stuff in blue. I'm going to check the planner next Tuesday or Wednesday, somewhere in there, next week. At the top, I need you to put, this is March the 14th through the 18th. It's the 8th week. Again, remember your planner is 4 grades, so easy grade. Monday's the 14th, Tuesday 15th, Wednesday 16th, 17th is Thursday, 18th is Friday. Math 1 I'm putting in blue as usual. Your Math 1 homework is the animal project. This is the last week for makeup work, so please make sure you put submit makeup work. Anything that has a 0 or a low grade 4, please submit the makeup work. Your tutoring, this is going to be Wednesday. Math 1 tutoring is Wednesday, 3 p.m. Math 1, your animal project is due on Friday. You have a quiz. The quiz is on adding, subtracting, and multiplying polynomials. If you need more help with that, please come to tutoring and I can help you with that. Read back over your notes. Next Tuesday is when I'm going to grade this planner. And then your interactive notebook is due Monday. Okay. So on here, I'm going to put down here Math 1 interactive notebook due. And it's Monday that it's due. And the date for Monday is 3/21/22. Any questions? The end of the quarter is the 24th. That's next week, Thursday. Friday, we're out of school next Friday. Okay? All makeup work is due this Friday, and I should put that on here. I have it right here. All makeup work is due on Friday, the 18th. Any questions, comments, or concerns? All right, I didn't do an extra homework assignment to give you more time to do makeup work and also so you can finish your project. Your project should almost be completed. Tomorrow, I'm giving you time to work with your partner to finish up the science part. All right, go ahead and put that away. Now we're working on this sheet right here. We are going to submit this when we're finished with it. This will be a grade. I forgot to upload the page for this week. So I'll do that after school today. So our page for this week is not up yet, but I'll upload it. I'll publish it because all I gotta do is just press a button. I'll publish it this afternoon. All right, so we started GCF, greatest common factor. So now we're gonna use the GCF method to factor polynomials. I feel a little dehydrated. Y'all ready? All right, good folks. Make sure I'm recording. Okay, so we're gonna do some more GCF, and then we're gonna GCF. We're gonna use the GCF method to factor these polynomials. Okay. All right, so let's do a little bit more GCF. Let's do 50a squared b to the third power. Come on, honey. Y'all, let's stop being immature. Okay, come on, y'all. There's nothing worse than being and having students that are in an advanced class and they act like they're in kindergarten. That is absolutely frustrating. All right, so we got 80. Let's do a b to the fourth. So we're going to find the greatest common factor between these two monomials, okay? So in order to find the GCF, or the greatest common factor between the two, we're going to list all of the factors. We're going to do the prime factorization for both monomials. Any questions about what I just said? Okay, so let's factor the first monomial. That's one term, right? Let's factor this term. We're going to factor the 50. Okay, we think of what two numbers can be multiplied to give us 50. 5 and somebody said 10, right? 5 times 10. We're going to circle 5. We're done breaking 5 down because it's prime. But we're going to break down 10 because 10 is composite. What two numbers can be multiplied to give us 10? 5 and 2 again, okay? We're going to circle both numbers because they are both prime. So the prime factorization for this monomial, least to greatest, we list in the factors. The first one is 5, then what? First one is 2, then what? How many 5s?
2.
2 5s. And then what do I write for the prime factorization there?
2 A's.
2 A's. We got A times A.
And then B times B times B.
Then B times B times B. This is the prime factorization for this monomial. Any questions about that? Okay, let's look at the second monomial. We're going to break down 80. What two numbers can be multiplied? Brayden, what are you doing, honey? Let me pause this because I don't want to say this on camera. All right. What two numbers can be multiplied to give me 80?
10 and 8.
10 and 8. What two numbers can be broken down to give me 10?
5 and 2.
5 and 2. I'm going to circle these numbers because they're prime. What two numbers can be multiplied to give me 8?
4 and 2.
4 and 2. I'm going to circle 2 because it's prime. I'm going to break down 4 because it's composite. What two numbers will give me 4? 2 times 2. And again, 2 is prime. How do I write the prime factorization for this monomial here? Yes, go ahead.
2 times 2 times 2.
How many 2's is that?
4.
4 2's.
And then times.
Every other day is Danny or Donnie, but you know who I'm talking about. Focus, please, sir. 1 2 3 4. I put too many.
And times 5.
Times 5. And then what do you write after that?
Times A.
Times A.
And then times B times B times B times B.
How many B's?
4.
4 B's. Okay, so now we're going to circle all the factors that they have in common, okay? What factors do they have in common? Yes.
2.
They got 1 2 in common. What else?
1 5.
1 5 in common. 1 A in common.
And 3 B's.
And 3 B's in common. 1 2 3. Okay. So GCF, the greatest common factor is going to be 2 times the 5 they got in common, times the A they have in common, times the 3 B's that they have in common. So my answer here is going to be what? 10
A to the third.
Very good. This is my GCF. Okay. Any questions about that? So now we're going to use this information. We're going to use how we find GCF to factor a polynomial. Okay. We're going to factor polynomials. We're going to factor polynomials using GCF method. We already know how to find GCF. So now we're just going to factor the polynomial by doing that. All right. You ready? Got it? I'm going to start off with one that's small. I'm going to start off with one that is small. Okay, let's suppose that I have 5n to the second plus, let's do 10n, okay? We're looking for the GCF. What would be the GCF for these two? You could break it down if you like over to the side. You could. What's the prime factorization for 5n to the second? Yes.
5 times n times n.
Very good, babe. What's the prime factorization for 10n? Yes.
5 times 2.
Mm-mm. Other way around.
2
2
times
times
5
2 times 5.
times
Very good. What do they have in common?
5
The 5 and what else?
and 1
And 1n. So my GCF when I do out to the side is what?
5n.
5n. Okay, so I'm going to take a 5n out. Now I have to figure out what's going to be left. What can I multiply? What polynomial can be multiplied to give me this answer again? So 5n times, what's left here that's going to give me 5n squared?
2n.
No. Just the n is left. Do you see this, how n is left? Plus, what's left here? 2. And these two, this monomial and this binomial, when I multiply it together, it's going to give me this. Try it and see. You see, 5n times n gives me 5n squared. 5n times 2 gives me 10n. So these two polynomials are factors of this binomial. These two multiplied together is going to give me this. So these are factors. Questions? Raise your hand if you're still copying. Okay. I'm going to get the rest of them from this sheet here, okay? So we're going to start with number 2. Yes, babe. It is. Yes, ma'am. All right, you ready? Okay, so now we have number 2 on that paper is 9x plus 36. Okay, so we're going to find GCF between the two. Let's list the prime factorization for both numbers. Okay, if you don't know it, just break it down. Okay, what about 9? What's the prime factorization for 9?
9. 3 times 3 times x.
Okay, and let's do 36. We can break 36 down if you can't do it in your head. What two numbers will give you 36? Somebody said 6 and what?
6 and 6.
6 and 6, okay. And then you said it, you broke down 6 to what? 2 and 3. I thought you said that. I'm sorry.
I was trying to do the times 9 thing.
Gotcha. It's okay. No problem. All right, so how would I write the prime factorization for 36?
2 times 2 times 3 times 3.
All right. And so what's my what do they have in common?
3.
They got 2 3s in common. Okay. So what's my GCF here? 3 times 3, which is equal to
9.
So we can take out a 9. If I take out a 9, what can I multiply times this 9 to give me this 9x plus 36? What's left here?
X.
X is left. You see how X is left?
Mm-hmm.
Plus, what's
2
left?
2 times 2, which is 4.
2 times 2, which is 4. So these two factors, when I multiply them together, is going to give me this. 9 times x is 9x. 9 times 4 is what? 36. These are the factors. Do you have it? Do you understand it? Looks like you're listening. That's a step in the right direction. All right, let's do number 3. So we have for number 3, the 63 plus 45b, okay? So we're going to find GCF out to the side. All right, we listen the factors for 63 and 45b. Okay, what's the prime factorization for 63? What times what times what? If you don't know, just break 63. We got, okay, so we got to break it down. We got 9 times 7, you said. Circle 7 because 7 is what? Prime. Break down 9 to what?
3 times 3.
So how do I write the prime factorization?
3 times 3 times 7.
Okay, very good. Okay, so now what about 45? Let's break it down.
9 times 5.
9 times 5. Circle 5 because it's prime. What about 9?
3 times 3.
3 times 3. How do I write the prime factorization for 45b?
3 times 3 times 5
times b.
Okay. And then what do they have in common?
The 2 3s.
The 2 3s. So my GCF here is going to be equal to what?
9.
9. So I take out a 9. Okay. When I take out a 9, look, I take out a 9. What's left?
7.
The 7 is left plus
5 times b.
5.
5.
5b. So when I multiply 9 times this binomial, that gives me 63 plus 45b. So these are my factors. This is my answer. I have factored it. These are my 2 factors. Any questions?
No.
Are y'all okay with that? See if you can do number 4 on your own, please. Did you do that part? You got 6n to the third. How did you write that, the prime factorization for that number? 2 times 3 times n times n times n. Good job. And what about you got negative 3n to the fifth? How'd you write that? I'm going to put negative 1, okay? And then times the 3, because it's a negative. And then how many n's? 5 n's. Okay, so now what do they have in common?
The 3 and
They
then
have-
3 ends.
And then 3 n's. Does that make sense? Are you okay with that? Okay. And so what's going to be your GCF here? You said 3. I couldn't hear you. I'm sorry.
3 and 3n.
3n to what power? The third power. Right? N times n times n. Okay? All right, so that's your GCF. You take out the 3n to the third. Okay, so what can I multiply times the 3n to the third to give me 6n to the third? What's left?
2.
This is gone, this gone, this gone, this gone. It's just 2 left, right? It and 2 times this 3n squared, 6n squared. Are you okay with that? Are you sure? Okay. And then what's left here for the second one? Negative 1, what? N to the second is left. Does that make sense? Are you okay? So when you multiply this times that, it gives you this. When you multiply this 3 times a negative 1, that gives you negative 3. And n to the third times n to the second gives you n to the fifth. So these are your 2 factors. Does that make sense? Are you okay? Okay. All right. So let's do one that has 3. Let's skip down. What number was that anyway? 4.
That was 3.
That was
4. Oh, no, it was 4.
Okay. So let's do number 7, please. Let's do number 7. All right, we'll do this one together since it looks different from the other ones that we've done. Okay. So for number 7, we have 14a plus 21a to the second plus 21a to the third. We're going to factor these. So we're going to do the prime factorization for all 3 terms. Okay? That's okay, baby. All right, so we got 14a, then we got 21, positive 21a squared, then 21a to the third. So we're going to do the prime factorization for each of these monomials. Okay, so let's break down 14. What 2 numbers will give you 14?
7 and 2.
7 and 2. Okay, both are prime. So the prime factorization for 14a is what?
7 and 2.
2 times 7 times a. Remember least to greatest, okay? 21. Let's break down 21 to what?
3 and 7.
3 and 7. Good job, babe. Okay, both are prime. So how do you write the prime factorization?
3 times 7 times A times A.
3 times 7 times A times A. Good job. And the other is going to be the same numbers, right? And how many A's?
3 A's.
3 A's. Okay, so then what are all three of them? Because remember now we're looking for GCF for all three. What do they all three have in common?
7.
They all three have a 7 and
1A.
they have 1A in common. So the GCF here is what?
7A.
7A. So we're going to take out a 7A. Is everybody okay? Patrick, you listening? You good? You sure? Yes. No. That's okay. I just want you to tell me when you're lost, okay? All right, so we take out the 7A. What's left?
2.
2. This is positive 2, right? That's 2 that's left.
3.
Then plus positive.
Plus 3A.
3A is left.
Plus 3A squared. Yeah.
3A squared. So if I was to multiply this 7A back out, would I get this? 7 times the 2. 7A times 2 is
14A.
7A times this 3A.
21A squared.
And then 7A times this 3A squared. 21A to the third. You add all the exponents. These are the factors. This monomial times this trinomial. Any questions? Is there anybody that's lost? Are you sure? Are you okay? Okay, so let's do the next one. Let's do number 8. See if you can do that one on your own, okay? Again, out to the side. We're going to list our prime factorization for each of these numbers and do our GCF. All right, 10 n to the third power. Well, let's just do 10. Break 10 down, y'all. What two numbers?
5 and 2.
5 and 2. Okay, so the prime factorization for that is going to be what?
2
times 5 times N times N.
Okay. All right, Tucker. What's going to be the prime factorization for the next monomial?
-1 times 3 times 3 times N times N.
Very good.
Good job.
Shh. Okay, Orlin, what's the prime factorization for n?
N times 1.
Just n. Okay. It's understood to be a 1 there. If it was negative, then it would be necessary to put -1. Great job, okay? All right, so now what do they all have in common? The n. They have, how many n's do they have in common?
1.
Just one. Just one n. They only got one n in common. So now we take out an n. What can we multiply times this n to give us n? 10 n to the third. 10 n to the second. See what's left? The 2, the 5, the n, and the n. That's 10 n to the second. Okay? What can we multiply times n to give us this -9n to the second? -9 what? Do you see what's left? -9n. And then last, what can we multiply times n to give us n?
1.
Just 1. Okay? Any questions? You have to put 1 there because without it, you wouldn't get n on it. Okay? So you have to put a 1 there. Any questions about how we get these as factors? This monomial times this trinomial. All right, so these are the ones that I want you to do. Okay? Let's mix it up a little bit. I want you to do number 10, number 11, number 13, number 16, 18, and 19. These are the ones I want you to do.